Agreed. Greetings and salutations. The universe is just doomed. 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 Doomed.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
It's me, Nicole.
And me, Tessa.
And Loretta is back.
Loretta!
She's here as our number one fan.
Yeah, she's our number one fan. That's
She
who
brought a
is
sledgehammer and some Dom Perignon.
Sledgehammer!
No, but she did bring us these adorable
Yes.
Annie Wilkes pins.
And she's about to swing that
she
sledgehammer.
is. She got the sledgehammer. And she really did bring some champagne.
She really did.
She's always got a themed drink for us.
She's always got something.
So I had not watched Misery in a hot minute,
It had been a little while.
but I remembered that the last few times I watched it, I could not watch the hobbling scene.
I have only, outside of this time, because I did watch it
I
this time,
made sure
I made myself
Yep.
watch it one other time before, and I've seen this movie many times.
I know I've seen it several times.
I watch
for
it in
sure.
the winter time. I
Yeah,
like it
it's
in
a
the
nice
winter time.
wintertime movie. We don't
Now
get
that-
snow here, so
Right? We don't
can
get, I
pretend.
just get to pretend. I watch this and I watch The Shining. Mm-hmm. It's a Stephen King season.
Right? It's Stephen
Is
King's
what
snow
it is.
season.
It's just Stephen King season.
Yeah. It's got
Mm-hmm.
wintertimey vibes for sure. Yeah,
Maybe
more
that
snow
could be.
in
Well, this
Maine.
is in Colorado, is it not?
Yeah, not in
Set
Maine
in Colorado,
for once.
which is also where The Shining, right, is also supposed to be in Colorado.
Oh, yeah,
There's always like
got a thing.
connections.
Mm-hmm.
Connections.
So the cast of Misery
Well, I think you know that we have Miss Kathy Bates.
as Annie Wilkes.
Annie Wilkes, and she won an Oscar
Good.
for this. Good. She was the only.
She scared them into giving her an
right?
Oscar.
Like they were like, we better
She
fucking
brought
give
her
it to her.
sledgehammer to the fucking Oscars. She
We
was like
better fucking give it to her.
sitting in the audience.
She was the first woman to win an Oscar for a horror or thriller.
Oh,
That is correct. The first woman
woman
to win for first Best Actress, I think, because also didn't Ruth Gordon win for Best Supporting in Rosemary's Baby?
Oh, okay. So
it was something
first
like
best
that.
actress.
But first Best Main, I guess.
James Caan as
Jimmy
Paul
Caan.
Sheldon.
Richard Farnsworth as Busta.
Frances Sternhagen as Virginia.
She's one of those people where she looks like her name.
Chris came
She
in.
looks like her name. She looks and sounds like her name.
Chris came in and he's like, "What do I know her from? Like a million things." And I
Yeah.
said, "That's Cliff Clavin's mom." And
Yes.
he's like, "Oh!" I'm like, "Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what you know her from."
Yeah.
We watch a lot of Cheers in my house. Who else we got? Lauren Bacall.
Lauren motherfucking Bacall, special appearance by as
Yes.
Marcia Sindel.
Graham Jarvis as Libby.
Oh
Who's
yeah,
Libby?
he's the he works at the Silver Creek Lodge.
Oh, that's
the
right,
guy
that
at the
guy.
Silver
And that's
Creek Lodge.
another guy who.
Guy you see him in everything.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
I feel like he was in Mr. Mom.
That
He might be one of the.
He was.
Yeah.
He was the
Was he one of,
tuna
like-
company
Yes,
guy.
Yeah.
the tuna guy.
Yeah,
from Mr.
yeah.
Mom. And then I had to write because is one of those. I didn't even see him in the movie, but in the IMDb credits is one of those reporters a Juicy Fruit from Phantom of the Paradise.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Archie Hahn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was a reporter in this, and I did not even see him in the movie, but I caught his
until
name in
you
the credits.
said that in his name just now. I didn't see that.
Yeah,
shit
I
in
was
the-
like, one of the Juicy Fruits is a
wow,
reporter.
that's funny. And also Rob Reiner uncredited as the helicopter pilot.
Yes.
And Rob Reiner directed and
Yes.
produced this Stephen
Yes.
King written film.
Well, this is the second time or the first time that he did it. No, second time, right? Because he did it for Stand By Me, which
The
is
reason why
he got
he
this.
got this was because Stephen King wasn't sure that he wanted Misery made into a
Right.
movie.
but he's like,
But
well, if
he-
Rob
if
Reiner's
Rob
going to do
Reiner
it, he
does
did
it,
good with
yeah.
Stand By Me.
Because
So.
isn't that like his favorite
story, the Stand By
or
Me
the
one?
favorite adaptation of his is
I
Stand
think
By
so.
Me?
Yeah, I believe
And I
so.
feel like I saw that like Annie Wilkes is like one of his favorite
It is his favorite.
favorite character.
or whatever. And she wait, where was I going with that? Nope, I forgot.
I'm not that much inside
Nope.
your brain. I'm sorry.
Nope,
I don't know.
I forgot. But there was I guess Bette Midler turned this down.
Oh, she was
Bette
going to do
Midler
Annie
as,
Wilkes?
as Annie Wilkes, and also Angelica Houston.
Oh, that's a scary Annie
Right?
Wilkes. She's too scary.
Seriously, Jessica Lange, Babs.
Wow.
And what
Wow.
did that fucking thing I showed you? Vicki Lawrence.
Oh, yeah.
Carol Burnett as the agent and Vicki Lawrence as Annie Wilkes.
Annie
Mama.
Wilkes? No way.
Mama. And they did, there was a 2015 Broadway adaptation starring Bruce Willis and fucking Aunt Jackie.
What?
No, not they wanted to.
Oh, they wanted
No,
to?
they did one in 2015.
Oh, really?
Because they had wanted also Roseanne or Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, 'cause I
to be
thought
Annie
they
Wilkes.
To be
said
Annie
that they
Wilkes.
wanted to do it as a musical.
Yes,
starring
but they didn't
Julia
do that
Roberts.
because that was the one that they wanted Julia Roberts for. And somebody was like, she's big. Like,
she's a
she has
huge
to be able
actress, yeah.
to lift him up and like
Oh,
kick
that
his
too.
ass.
She carries him out of
Julia
the
Roberts
freaking
ain't
snow
gonna
and
do that shit. But then they ended up doing not a musical, but just a Broadway adaptation that was successful
Wow.
apparently, with Bruce Willis as Paul Sheldon and Aunt Jackie as Annie Wilkes.
How would Aunt Jackie be carrying Bruce Willis around?
I don't know. She's not big, but she's big
No,
crazy.
that's
I
true.
could picture her being like,
She got that mom strength.
she's got
that
those eyes.
lifting the car off the
Right, she
child
could probably
strength.
do it. I mean, I guess, huh? Because she's not a very big woman, but
Yeah,
Still.
Lauren Metcalf's not.
I mean, she could. I don't know. She was a truck driver and
cop.
a cop.
Maybe she could do it. So we get into it kind of right away. So Paul Sheldon finishes his novel.
Right.
We see his little routine, his
up
little
there
ritual.
typing away, and he's got his little Lucky Strike and a match,
Mm-hmm.
and his Dom Perignons, and he's got his new book, which is untitled
Yeah,
at this
some
moment.
new manuscript.
He writes up
He puts in his little leather
the
satchel.
end,
Goes out and gets in his Mustang in the snow.
which does not seem like the ride you want to have. Like, does he even have
In
chains
Colorado?
on the
No.
tires?
And like, there's no weather report. And like,
I know.
he didn't know a storm was coming. Now, if this was his very first time coming to Colorado to write, I get it. But they say
No,
he comes
he
here
comes there all
every
the time.
time.
He comes up in the same car because he's superstitious. But like,
You don't know about fucking snow, bro? Like, what the?
you don't know about snow, bro.
Like,
Bro,
in Colorado, bro?
Colorado,
in the
bro,
winter?
snow, bro.
Like, seriously, there's
In
not
a
a radio
state, bro?
news report.
I
The
know.
hotel doesn't
You
warn
have a
him.
thing
When
like-
he checked out, they didn't.
They
say,
didn't
like,
go,
"Hey,
oh."
maybe you shouldn't leave right now.
Right?
Right. And when was this supposed to be? Because I mean, I know it came out in 1990, but
I don't
when
know if it was
does
supposed to
like
be 1990.
this
I'm not sure.
take place?
I don't think it ever says, so I presume 1990-ish.
I mean, like the way that she talks about going to the cereals, and like how far ahead was
because
that?
she's only 41 in real life in this movie.
Oh wow.
Chris looked it up. I don't know why. I didn't ask him to. We were watching it, and he just out of nowhere he's looking at his phone.
I
and
don't
he
know
goes,
why.
I
didn't
Kathy
ask him
Bates
to.
is 41 years old right here, and I was like, well, you know, her skin looked good.
It
It's
did.
the hairstyle and the outfits.
Well, it's
that
the
made
whole
her look
situation that
old.
made her look dowdy.
Yeah, dowdy.
But she doesn't look old.
But her skin
40
looks nice and fresh.
So we're both older than Annie Wilkes. We're
Yeah.
all three of us older than
Uh-huh.
Annie Wilkes.
We
Okay.
sure
All
are.
right. Okay.
So yeah, so seriously, pull the fuck over. Like when the
I
snow starts
know.
coming, like what are you doing? And you see
Can
the
it, like,
windy
continue,
road
like,
sign,
you
you're just
can't-
like, yeah, I'm gonna risk
You
it.
th-
I can't
Risk
even
it
see.
all. I
can't
know.
even
He
fucking
can't even
see.
get it to like he puts his little windshield wipers on in his tiny little 65 Mustang. 65 Stang.
And surprise,
Wait a minute.
surprise. What?
Hold on. This can't be Colorado.
Why?
Because he went to drive to New York
From Colorado.
from Colorado. This can't be
Does
Colorado.
he drive or he? Well, unless he
He's
leaves that car at a
driving.
long extended
He
airport
was talking
parking
about
or
pulling up in New York right now.
he
She
likes
is
a long
calling from
drive.
New York.
He likes a
That
coast to
can't be.
coast fucking drive.
Where's Sidewinder? Because that was wherever the overlook is. Because they talk about, I don't know.
Yeah,
Hold
I don't
on,
know.
that's not working out for me. I just thought about that geographically. That's silly.
The geography ain't geography.
Geographying? No, it's not. Not right now.
Say Colorado.
Yeah, interweb
Oh.
says Colorado, so
And he drove it all the way to New York, huh?
I guess so.
Okay.
So yeah, surprise, surprise, car upside down in the snow off the
Right.
road.
He,
And then we get a little flashback of him in his agent's office, Lauren Bacall.
Right. Miss Lauren motherfucking Bacall. And she's like, they're talking about the misery novels because he writes these misery novels.
Which he
and how
didn't
he
want
wants
to do. He didn't mean to turn it into a thing.
And like these holes, I want to read the misery
I
novels.
do
This shit
too.
sounds wild. Wild.
Seriously.
This gives me like VC Andrews real heavy, and I want to read the misery
Right?
novels.
Stephen King, bring us the misery
Bring
novels.
me the full set. I will buy all 8, 9, however many they are.
Yes. So he's talking to her about he hasn't really been a writer since he started
Right.
doing misery.
He
Like,
didn't mean to do it for so long, and now he wants to be like taken seriously as an author.
And so he tells her he killed off the character in
Right.
this latest novel.
Right.
And he's going to go back to Colorado and write a real book. So ut back to him dying in his car.
A real book.
Yeah.
This trash.
So cut back to him dying in his car. When a stranger pries him out with a crowbar.
Right. That somebody comes and pries the door open
And does some unnecessary CPR because he's
I
clearly
know,
awake
he's
and
awake
breathing.
and breathing.
His like eyes are open.
alive and kicking.
Yeah. Doesn't need CPR.
No, he doesn't. Like with the full chest pump and
Right.
I mean, like you could have just.
just wanted a kiss, girl.
And then did you notice, like, when she goes around his body and she puts her hand on his chest,
I
you
know.
hear him go, ugh.
Ugh,
Right?
I know.
Like, he's
she
awake,
pulls
ma'am.
herself up from his body.
And she just tosses him over her back and
I
carries
know.
him up that
little
fucking ravine.
over the shoulder boulder holder. Just what do you call it? Like a fireman?
Yeah, fireman
carry or
carry,
whatever.
yep. So he wakes up all groggy. I'm your number one fan.
I'm your number one fan.
And he's been out cold for 2 days. And
Yeah.
he meets Miss Annie
You
Wilkes, his
almost
number one
died.
fan. And she gives him some. Immediately, she's like, "Here's some pills," and he goes back to sleep.
Right, and I
So
guess
it's like-
there was a greater subtext of that in like the novel and whatever. Is that about addiction and how he was like a recovering addict? Because this is about, again, Stephen King's addiction issues. But like there was
Isn't
more
everything.
about that where he had to take these pills and didn't want to take these pills, and because it felt but yeah, so immediately
So yeah, starts giving him pills. Next day, more pills. Next day, more pills. Like
he
we just
wakes
go
up
through.
again. He's like, "What about a hospital?" And she's like, "Oh no,
I'm a nurse, and all the phones
Right,
are out,
lucky
and the
for
roads
you.
are closed.
yeah, there
You
was
don't
a
need that.
blizzard, but I called."
When she shows him his legs.
Oh, see, that's why he's getting those pills. If I would need pills just to look at those legs.
Oh my god. Those
Jimmy
are like
canned
elephant legs.
beef legs.
Jimmy canned.
It looks
canned
like
beef.
two
Canned beef.
skin sacks filled with mayonnaise.
Oh, it's not cute.
They're not pretty.
Now, if she
No.
had hobbled him while his legs looked like that,
No, it would have squirted.
and they're like dead alive style or something.
Yeah, 100%.
It would have made
Goo inside
custard.
there.
That was nasty.
And she's just like, "Oh, they're just broken in multiple places. That's just from being broken."
Your tibias and yes, it was all fucking. He probably got like crunched up. Because she said compound fracture. That's like
Yeah.
a crunch. And she was talking about his shoulder being badly dislocated. And don't worry, I just burp,
Yep.
burp while
Shoved
you
it
were
right
out.
back in.
Trouble. I had to really
I probably
tug on
looked
it.
at your dick a little bit.
You know she did. She at least took a peek.
She took a peek. She gave him a little sponge bath. She gave him that unnecessary CPR. She
know
also
she
gave him
did.
an unnecessary sponge bath.
Naughty Annie.
Naughty Annie. Annie, are you okay?
No,
You
she
okay,
is
Annie?
not.
No.
The answer is no. So the agent, she gets suspicious right away because he does the same because
Right,
of his
she was like-
superstitiousness. He's always the same
Exactly.
routine
She
when the
calls
book is done.
she
She
calls
calls
whoever.
the Buster. in
Exactly. She
Colorado.
was like, I want to talk to the sheriff in this town,
or the police,
or the
chief,
police, or whoever the fuck I gotta talk
Well,
to.
I'm
Whoever's in
both.
charge.
Which one you want?
because I'm both
I'm all them.
and I'm free. What you need?
What you need? I got my little rubber band.
So she tells him basically he checked out days ago.
Right.
Nobody's heard from him, and he's like, he says like, don't worry about it, but you can tell on his face
He's
like
thinking
he already is like
right. He's already got
up?
the wheels turning because what else is he fucking doing?
right. It's just because he's bored.
Right?
He's like, oh, let's make it a mystery.
He gives
even
it
if
like
it's not.
he gives it like his best, like Jessica Fletcher.
I
like,
was just gonna say he's just waiting for Jessica Fletcher
right,
to
just
pop
to
in,
show
like,
up. Like I'll solve this fucking
I'm
mystery.
here. That
well,
means
no,
there's
he's
gonna be
doing
a murder in your town. 'cause
right.
I'm here.
She is the harbinger of death.
Yes, she is. She's a fucking grim
And it's
reaper.
probably one of her nieces or nephews that they're
It's
gonna
always some
accuse of
relative, some
of doing
extended
it.
relative.
Yeah, She goes all the way to the fucking circus or
Annie,
the rodeo.
I'm here to see Annie Wilkes, my great niece. And
Yes,
you're
my
like,
great niece Annie Wilkes.
she about to murder
That's
somebody.
her. That's her.
So back to Annie's house. She's giving Paul a straight razor shave.
Ooh, the closest shave
But
you
like,
can get.
is that really the primary concern right now?
I mean, she's
Is he going anywhere?
She wants to make sure
She wants to
he stays looking nice.
Yeah,
So
she
that when
wants
he's
to keep him
passed out on
smooth.
pain pills, she can go
She could go
rub
snuggle
all up
to
on
him.
his cheek
Yeah.
and not get razor burn or whatever.
She doesn't want to get.
burn.
Up on something.
Well,
And so, yeah, probably not a primary concern when your legs look like elephant legs, but that's fine.
he's got elephantitis of the
Of
legs.
the legs. And she lets him know that, it wasn't a miracle that I found you. I was stalking you.
I was following you. I'm your number
No
one
big
fan,
whoop.
so there was no secret that I knew exactly
I just
where
happened
you
to
were.
move to the town where you go to write your books.
Did she move there? Why would Buster know that that was the Wilkes farm?
It had to be a family. I would assume it was like like her family.
She probably
farm before
moved
that.
to Denver from there.
So you think that was already just
Yeah,
she
like it
just
was in
so
the
happened
family.
to live in the town where Paul Sheldon goes to write his books.
Yeah.
So yeah, but she knows where he's at.
Yeah.
She'd been just staring at his window,
Right.
just watching you.
Watching it, just thinking of all the wonderful genius things that you might be writing up in there.
And I knew there was a storm coming, so when I saw you leave, I was like,
That was silly to leave in that fucking 65 Mustang without chains on the tires.
And so instead of stopping you and saying, "Sir, this is not safe,"
Maybe
I'll
don't
wait
do
till
that.
you run off the side of the road and
Because
hope
I
you
knew it was
live,
bound to happen.
so I could drag you home.
So I brought you here.
But she wants a favor. She saw that manuscript or
I
whatever
noticed you got
his novel in his satchel.
and your little
a
butt, because that was the only other thing she grabbed. She grabbed that, of course, out of the wreckage.
And he gives the okay.
Well, he's like, well, at this early stage, I'm
Well,
very
he only
selective,
lets a few people read, but people who save his
also
life.
people that saved my life. And she's like, oh my God. I love misery for so long and this, that, whatever, she's
And
all about it.
forgive me for prattling away and making you feel all oogie. That's such a Stephen King word. That's like something his Nana said or something one
Oogie.
time. Who
She
has
says it twice.
oogie? So he's like, oh, well, maybe you can help me come up with a title. And
Right.
she's
'cause
so
it's
excited.
yeah.
like,
Oh my God. Like I could do that. Like I could do that.
we're terrible at coming up with titles.
So now
Buster goes to check the hotel.
he goes up there to Silver Creek, and is there nothing weird about
no,
his
they're like,
departure?
he did his usual
He does
thing.
the same thing all of the time. I don't think he ever wants to do anything different. Well, actually, we forgot to mention, after Buster gets that call from the agent, when Virginia comes in, he was like, when was that blizzard?
Oh, yeah. So he knows right away. He connects the day he
Right,
went
because
missing
that's
with the
why
day
he
of the
went thinking,
blizzard.
he's like, when was that blizzard? It was the same day that he took off
Yeah.
and went missing.
So now back to Annie's house. She's spoon feeding Paul some soup.
She's talking, she's like, well, I'm only like 40 pages in.
And I have some thoughts.
It's the swearing, Paul. It has no nobility.
And she like loses her
She's
fucking
like
mind.
talking about like, give me that bastard of a check and give me some Christing money.
She spills the soup all over him and then immediately
Look what
is
you
like,
made me do.
oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I love you. I mean,
Right.
I love your mind. I love your creativity.
Right?
And he, for the first time, well,
He's
maybe
like-
not the first time, but he starts
He's
to
getting
look
a little worried.
worried. Yeah.
Well, because at first he's like flattered
Right.
with all of this, like, you're my biggest fan, and you think I'm a genius, and you think I
Right.
you love my books and all of this shit. But now you just spilled soup all over me and yelled at me.
Right. And now, just to be clear, the manuscript is not the newest Misery book. The
No,
manuscript
this is not. This is his new
But
shit.
for whatever reason, she has yet to read until he's there.
Right.
The latest Misery book, which makes no sense to me. Did it just come out that day?
Yeah.
Oh, it came out while he's in her house.
Yes.
Okay.
It
All
had
right,
come
so that
out,
makes
yeah,
sense.
while he was in.
So it's like she would have read it the day it was in the fucking bookstore.
Well, yeah, and then she does.
Yeah, okay,
but
so it
much
just
later
came out.
on, like it didn't come out until he was missing.
So the sheriff and Cliff Clavin's mom go to search the roads.
They take a
Mrs.
drive,
Clavin.
and she like grabs.
She's
up
trying
on
to get
his
frisky.
knee. I know.
What are they, like,
She's like,
85?
I know.
How old are these
He's
people?
like, when we're in this car, I am the sheriff in these parts, and you are my deputy. And she's like, well, this deputy wants to be under the covers with the sheriff.
Snuggled up with the
She's
sheriff.
they're so cute.
They are cute.
They're so cute. Poor Buster.
I
Poor
know.
Virginia.
Seriously, there was no need, Annie.
Annie.
He was about to leave.
What? Well,
I mean, he was about to leave to go get some more cops to arrest you, but
Well,
he was
I
about to
mean-
leave.
he was about to leave. He had found your dirty little secret.
And he stops her. He sees some broken branches on the tree.
Right.
on
He's
the
like, hold
sidewalk.
on. Let me go look over there. And he crawls down there and falls
He
into
hauls his old ass down in this like 4 feet of snow.
his old ass.
He is old as hell. I wouldn't at this age be walking down that snow hill.
Yeah, well, I don't know, Nicole. You might
How
be
stoned am I?
tempted. That's what I'm saying.
I might.
She might actually do it.
And he
She'd fall
sinks
into
down.
a fucking snowbank and we're
Yep.
like, oh, fuck. Now we got to get her out of here. I'm not going down there.
And he sinks down into the snow, and then he stops just before.
Right before the tire. Because
Oh.
everything, it's been a blizzard. Everything has gone, snowed over everything. You can't see shit out there.
And if he hadn't just sank into the snow right there, he would have, like, 5 more feet.
I know.
He would have found this car.
I know.
Of course.
Well, I don't know. Like maybe would he have thought because he had fallen in waist deep that might could be something under there?
That's what. See, I was thinking he would go. Wait a minute. If the snow's this deep, maybe I better go a little further.
Right.
But like I said, he's like 175 years old.
That's true.
It's gonna get older every time I say it.
The ancient one.
I'm gonna multiply by 50 every
317.
time I say it. He's 1,081 years old.
14,052
Buster.
years old Buster is.
Busting his ass down the snowy hill. And so he gets back up, and Annie drives past and sees, like, oh,
Right. She's like,
now
they'd
they're
be looking.
snooping.
They be looking.
So she returns with the newest Misery book.
Oh,
so
Paul.
This is Misery's Child.
Oh, Paul.
So excited.
I have them set aside the very first one. I went down there and got it straight away. And he was like, wait, so like the roads are open? She was like, well, to town they are. But I called the hospital and they said everything was fine as long as there's no infection. And then they're going to send an ambulance for you.
Oh, and I
he's like,
called your agent.
right. And well, first he was like, well, so the roads are open. Or not the roads. He's also the phones are working.
Oh, not here.
Not here at my house,
But in town.
they were.
Yeah.
So I called your agent. Everything's cool.
She'll call your daughter.
Right.
We're all
Everything's
good.
fine.
So she brings him his scrambled eggs a la Wilkes.
A la Wilkes with her spam.
With just some mystery chunks of spam.
Well, I can't.
No, she
I
does
can't
that
with
in the
spam.
she does that in the meatloaf, but I don't know if there's spam in
there
the
is
eggs.
spam
Is there
in the
spam
not in
also?
the eggs, but there's a couple slices of spam. It's
On
a
the
big ass
side.
breakfast.
It was.
I have that breakfast. I won't eat that spam though. I got a feeling about
That was a
spam.
full Midwest. Or a
Full
full
Midwest.
Colorado. That was a full. I don't know.
I
what
had
that was.
I went to a babysitter that fed us spam literally like every fucking day for
Oh,
like every
too much
fucking. It was
spam.
too much spam.
I like spam every
I
now
can't
and
even.
again.
I don't even know what it tastes like. I just can't. I can't with the can and I can't with the spam.
The fact that it's canned ham.
Canned ham. I will eat a Vienna sausage though.
That's the exact.
I
I'm
know.
Just as likely to eat a Vienna sausage as a spam.
I know, but it's like it's the connotation. It's the connection.
I'm not going to open a can of Vienna sausages or spam and cook them, but if I go somewhere and like in the little
And
hors
it's
d'oeuvre thing,
offered.
there's spams, and I'm like, all right, I'll eat it.
Remember when we had a potluck at work, and it was Hawaiian themed, and
Uh-huh.
I made the little spam sliders.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah, those were
remember that?
good. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure if I would try it. I would try yours, Loretta.
Only
I would
'cause
try
you
yours
cooked
only
it.
because you
was
made
like
it.
It was like a Cuban sandwich.
Yeah, but with
Ooh,
spam.
and I love that.
Yeah, it was.
And I love that.
It was
See,
tasty.
that would break the spell, maybe.
On a little
I'd be all
Hawaiian
up on that
roll.
spam tip again
was
if I
good.
had it the right way.
So yeah, so she's all excited. She's getting
Right.
into this misery
She's
book.
like,
and
I'm gonna
she's,
go
Oh, it's so good.
Read
it's
that shit
perfect."
right fucking now.
So then she comes in, or no, first a pig saunters into the room.
He's like, here's some
It's on its
shit, a
own.
commotion or whatever, and there's a pig, and it just jumps up on the bed, and he's like,
It's my sow, and then she comes
my
in like
sow,
my sow,
favorite beast in the whole world, Misery. And he's like, oh, yeah,
Great. You
awesome.
named your pig
because
after
now
my
he's
books.
starting to
Wonderful.
think, he's like, fuck, she's gonna read this book. I killed this bitch.
Yep.
She's named her sow after her. She's clearly.
And she's on page 300, and it's divine.
Oh, I thought this is when she's on 75.
No, I have.
Or no,
I wrote
that
down
was.
she's on
oh
page
yeah,
300.
300
The
is
last one was
divine.
75.
That's
I think,
correct.
yeah.
She's like, what's that Italian slur? Painted the Sistine Chapel,
Italian
That
stuff.
Italian slur.
or that painted that ceiling.
Yeah. It's like these two. That
That
and this,
and
book,
this
divine.
is divine.
So now he looks more worried. Yeah,
Right? He's like,
gotta
fuck.
look like fuck.
So when she comes in again and she talks about her husband leaving and working night shifts at the hospital.
And that's when she discovered misery.
Right. And she's only got 2 chapters left.
It made me forget all my problems. And now this whole time she's like facing the window, having this like very serious. She's telling him all about her personal life.
Using
and he's pissing
the
in a
little
jug.
Yep.
He's just looking at her like, oh, this is awkward as hell.
I know. Like, it's under the blanket, but still, I'm trying to, like, what if he had a shy bladder?
Shy bladder. And then she comes and takes the jug from him and
then
continues
she's, like,
to gesticulate with the fucking piss jug.
Gesticulating. It's like you could hear it sloshing.
Let me just
around.
shake this piss jug for emphasis while I talk.
He's got a good piss color. It's all going very well. Like, he seems
nice
like
light
he's
yellow.
in good.
You're good to go. There's no blood in there.
No.
You're ready to go.
He seems like he's in good condition considering she's got him,
all
like...
things considered.
All
yes.
things considered with him being kidnapped and all.
And then I guess, I'm not even halfway through. So let's do this next part and then let's take a break. So she comes in.
Right.
In the middle of the night.
Well, now this is like, she's like, I gotta go finish now.
Yeah, right. So after the piss jug, she goes
She's
to
like, I'm
finish
gonna go
this thing.
finish it up. And he's like, fuck. It's about to jump off.
And he falls asleep. And at some point in the middle of the night, she
A
comes
full
in.
moon rises.
You dirty bird.
Dirty
Could
bird.
you?
You murdered her.
She can't be dead. And
You murdered my misery.
loses her fucking mind.
She's
And
like
he's very
shaking
calmly.
the fucking bed, like.
He's like, in 1871, women often died in childbirth. It's fine. It's not. Nobody murdered her. She just died. And she's
She
like,
slipped
no. She's
away.
like breaking
Slipped away.
No. She's like,
She raises that plant stand to. He's like, fucking whatever.
She breaks it over his
smashes
head,
it over
yeah.
the fucking.
just another lying old dirty birdie.
I
Don't
shouldn't
even
be
think about
around
anyone
you.
coming for you.
Yeah, they don't know you're here. I never called them.
If I die,
You die.
Which, why? He wasn't dying.
Well, I mean, if something happens to her, nobody knows that he's there.
Well,
she
yeah,
lives
but like he
alone.
will eventually heal and be able to just walk out
Well, I
the
guess
door
that's
once she's not
true.
trying to kill him.
That's
I'm
true,
not sure
but not
why
for,
he bought into that, but
not right now. Not for if she died like today.
And then she just immediately leaves in the car.
Right,
In the middle
she
of the
takes
night.
off.
Where does she go?
He's trapped.
And he immediately tries to get out of bed, and it is
Oh,
a
with his
mistake with
legs,
those
and
fucking
he
fat
falls
legs.
in it. Ah!
Just the sound, just
like
it
trying
made
to-
chills go up my spine, even though it's fake.
Oh,
Him hitting the floor with those fat legs.
screaming fucking pain.
Oh my god!
She was talking about hearing the bones
Oh.
move.
No, I know, likey.
How long was he supposed to be there? Because his legs,
don't know.
like
Months,
he
I
wasn't
guess?
walking again.
A
Well,
month?
he never. Well, he did walk again. I was like,
Yeah.
he never walked again, but he did.
And so yeah,
He never
drags-
danced again.
No, he didn't. Never dance again.
Guilty feet got no rhythm.
But he drags himself with one arm to the door, and of course,
Oh, the shit's locked.
locked from the outside.
Oh man, but he can't get himself back into bed, so he just lays there on the floor
Yeah.
all night.
And before we find out whether he ever escapes, we're going to take a quick break.
Let's do it.
We'll be right back. And we're back.
We're back, and Buster's over there talking to Marcia, and he's like, the Stadies and the FBI has appraised the situation. Like,
There's
nothing's
no- yeah.
changed. It will, as soon as we know something, we'll give you a call.
But now he's really suspicious.
Right. He's like, there's been no credit card charges and no calls about this article that he's put in the paper.
So now Annie now finds him on the floor from when
Right.
he tried to crawl to the door
She's
earlier.
back in like nursing mode. Like, oh, you poor dear thing.
Oh yeah, she seems in a much better mood
Oh,
after
right.
whatever her late
Her
night
little-
drive was.
Yeah, she's like, she puts him back in bed.
And she's got a surprise.
Oh, it's a big surprise, but you got to do something first.
And she mentions very briefly having been on the witness stand or
Right. She was like, sometimes my thinking gets kind of muddy. That's why I couldn't remember all those things they were asking me about on the witness stand.
You weren't really on the witness stand. You were
No,
the
you were on
fucking-
trial.
Yeah, you were on trial. It's a little bit different.
You were not you were a witness to your own
to your own
murders.
crimes.
Your own crimes.
And also, I talked to God.
Right.
You know,
I also, God
cash.
told me, I talked to God. God told me that he sent you here for a reason.
So let me just bring this barbecue in.
I'm going to save you
This
from
barbecue
yourself. I brought a barbecue.
with your
gonna
new
have to-
novel and some lighter fluid.
Ooh, look at that. We're going to have to rid the world of this filth.
So she soaks it and hands him a match. Is like,
He's like, you want me to burn my book?
he's like, whatever. There's like a dozen copies. And
She's
she's like,
like,
yeah, sure.
No, there isn't. You're superstitious. I know better than that. You told that story to Merv Griffin 11 years ago.
So she insists. So his mind can be free. He must burn this book.
As long as it exists, you will never be free.
It's what God wants.
Yeah, so you should do it because, the only people that ever suggest burning books are villains in the story.
Right? And then she starts splashing fucking lighter fluid
Right,
all over
like
the
all
bed.
over him. Like you see, you just have to, go along with the program.
Well, and now if I were him, I really would not want to light this match now. You just
I know
covered
it's
me
all
in
over
fucking
his
lighter
bed. Like I
fluid.
am also now covered in lighter.
Like,
fluid.
I don't think this is safe. It's really not safe to light the barbecue inside number
No,
one.
also
we're about to
that
find
is
out.
we're about to find out. But they tell you specifically not to burn them things inside the house because you'll die.
And immediately, whoa, fucking curtains are on fire.
Right.
Fucking everything's on fire.
Yeah. Heavens to Betsy.
But luckily,
oh,
she
dear.
just happened to have a bucket of water ready to go.
It's his piss.
This piss bucket.
Oh, mother piss bucket.
This oogie mess.
Ooh.
And like, don't barbecues have like a hole in the bottom? Would that water not all have splashed onto the floor?
Well, I think you could shift it.
you can close it.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was prepared for this moment. She had it all set up. It was like a whole thing.
And now here comes the chopper.
Uh-oh. Oh, very good. I thought this was MASH for a second.
And she's like, nope. She gives him his pills
and then
and
he
leaves.
stashing these
And now he's
pills.
starting to stash the pills.
So now Annie's up like watching Love Connection.
Love
in
Connection.
Bed,
I used to watch fucking
back
Love
in
Connection.
2 and 2. 2 and 2.
2 and 2. Like
What
the
is that,
principal
Chuck
on Breakfast
Woolery?
Club. Yes.
Chuck Woolery. And like she's eating some Cheetos.
Cheetos Crunchy, Coca-Cola Classic,
And Love Connection.
and
This
her
is
pig
choice.
plush.
This is choice.
And now Paul's in his bed eating, but
Right. He makes a little
he
hidey
gets
hole.
no TV.
No, he don't get no TV. He has to hear Love Connection through the walls.
Doesn't even get to see what
Kevin!
these people look like.
He took me to a classy restaurant, but he didn't even wear a tie. Did you see that man's mullet? He ain't wearing a tie, no place.
No, he is not.
He's wearing a bolo if you're lucky.
He gave you the business in the front. That's all you get.
You're getting the party up in the back,
That's
girl.
as fancy as he get.
Denise, or whatever her fucking name was.
And he rips the mattress
Yeah.
lining with his fork and starts stuffing the pills in there.
Like he went and like what if you can't get him back out again? Like you need to keep him.
Right?
He seemed to really shove him in there.
Really shoved him in there.
Really
good.
shoved him in there, Paul.
So now the next day, Annie brings him a wheelchair
Oh,
and
if
an
I
electric razor.
if I would have known this was going to be the surprise, I would have burned all my books.
Oh, don't be sassy.
Oh,
or whatever
you're-
she says.
you're such a kidder.
You're such a kidder. No, I'm setting up your new studio.
Oh, it's a big day. He's like, what do you want me to fucking write?
You're going to write a new book.
A new misery book.
Misery's
Misery's Return.
Return.
Huh? She's dead.
You got to make it right.
In my honor.
A book in my honor. You're
Bitch.
so humble, Annie.
I
So
know.
humble for saving your life.
Right. And I expect nothing less than your masterpiece.
And he notices she dropped a hairpin.
Oh,
during
shit.
this
There's a
time.
little bobby pin on the floor. Like, okay.
And so he's like, oh, well, everything's great. You got me this typewriter, this paper, but guess what?
Just one little thing. The paper. I can't use it. It smudges. She's like, but mine
But it
costs
costs the most.
He's like, well, look, I'll show you right now. Types out a little smudge, smudges it.
And her, isn't that fascinating? She's like fucking pissed. Like,
I go out of my way for you.
and all you can do is fucking whine, basically.
I know. I cook your meals. I clean you up.
She probably wipes his ass, I would imagine.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't get out
I'm
of
sure
that
she
bed.
does. She loves it.
We only saw him pee in the bottle. We don't know
I
what
know.
happened
We
at
know
poo-poo
what's
times.
happening with the poopy times are different times.
I mean, he's clearly not in a diaper because he's
I
peeing in
know.
a jug. So,
Well, that's what I'm saying. She manages to keep him free of the bed sores,
right?
the infection.
She's a good nurse, apparently.
She is a good nurse if she doesn't kill you first. She's
Yep.
she's such a good nurse. She kill you.
Yep. So she whacks that ream of paper down on his broken ass leg.
Ow!
He backs up in the scene.
Yes.
He like rolls his
Like he
chair.
knew
Yeah.
that was coming.
Like well,
Right, he was
like he was under the table first.
right, and then he
rolls
moves out.
his
He's
chair
like, well,
back.
she's
He's all,
gonna
let
do
me
this."
expose my legs for you.
Right. Smash
You can
these
smash
down on my
these.
ground beef legs.
And she,
Oh yeah, it's like those two
Yeah, I know. It's like the little 2 tubes from Costco ground beef.
If you just put some splints on the side and some
Yeah.
little straps around them,
Sure, that's exactly what it looks like. That's what you got to Photoshop into the picture. You got 2 little rolls of ground
Like
beef.
how I did Kevin Bacon legs.
Yes.
Now I gotta have
Jimmy
James
Caan
Caan
beef legs.
So she takes off immediately for the
Right.
store.
She's like, well, fine. I'll go get it right now.
and he goes for the hairpin.
Yep. And it's like all stressful. I'm trying to fucking.
Like you think he's not gonna be able to pick it up or something, and like
Pick it
the
up.
drama of
I
picking up the
know.
hairpin.
I know. And he
Out
does
of the
it
chair like
twice.
he did out of the bed.
Right, he wants
Right.
to stay in the chair.
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to slam those fucking beefy legs down on the ground again.
So he gets it, he picks the lock, and then he's like, "Fuck, I had no other plan besides this." Like
Right,
now
like,
what?
I don't know. Now
Doors
I'm out.
open.
Well, he's like, you write about this shit. Like you could fucking do this, like or whatever. And he finally gets it open. And then he goes out and manages.
Well, the
to
front
get
door
through
is
the-
locked, of course.
Right,
Key
he
dead
can't get
bolted.
out.
The
He
phone
can't-
has no fucking guts
There's
in
no-
it.
yeah.
Why does she even have it?
Because she's crazy. That they asked that. Like, there's like, why is that even? Oh, Loretta,
I have a factoid about
Ooh.
a fact
about the phone.
about the
table.
phone.
So there's a picture next to the fake phone.
Uh-huh.
And it's an actual picture of Kathy Bates as a young teen.
I
Oh,
noticed
'cause
there were
there's
some
also
actual photos
Pictures
that
of
look
her
like
as that, and also there's like several pictures of Liberace.
Yes, because that's her favorite.
Several pictures of Liberace, and also
And of Paul.
yes, there's also above the picture of Paul's like in the Misery Shrine or whatever.
Yes.
There's an actual picture of when James Caan met the Queen,
Oh, really?
but they used it because it was like an old picture. But he did actually meet the Queen, and it is a picture of him
Nice.
meeting the Queen.
so yeah.
Queen.
So they so she gets to the store and they had both of these fancy papers in this small town Colorado
I know.
store in 1990.
They did like you had your choice.
Right? In the
In the
bookstore where
general
they sell
store?
books, they also sell paper because that's where she got it from. Like you think
Right.
it's a general
It's not
store,
even
but
a
later he
bookstore.
asks,
It's
yeah.
like all kinds of things. It's like it's their feed
so yeah,
store,
I'm
the
surprised
whatever
she found
store.
the exact brand of his specified
Yeah, I didn't
paper.
even think about that till you brought it up right now.
Mimeo paper. So
Oh, he
that's
said
just-
Mimeo,
that's just
okay.
copy
Oh,
paper.
long grain Mimeo.
Yeah, that's just copy paper.
Oh, I mean, I guess, but
And
still.
Maybe when she was gone the night before on her drive after she
Oh,
scared him to death when she touched the guy.
Right,
Maybe
right.
Because she was gone for so long. Maybe
That was when
Oh,
she was
she
getting
went
the
to get
typewriter
the-
and the
'Cause remember,
paper.
She talks about going to get the typewriter and all
Well, and
that.
it was
Oh, yeah.
winter, so it was probably only 5 p.m. and it seemed like it was
right.
the middle
That's
of the night.
true. That like it was today, where I was like, God, is anybody ever gonna get here? And it's like 4:10.
You're like, wow.
I was like,
why is
oh,
it-
never mind. She just left.
So Paul's wheeling around and almost busts her penguin.
Oh shit! He hits the thing and like catches it.
Which he might as well because she notices anyway. He put
Well,
it back the
and-
wrong way.
Just, I mean,
You can tell she's crazy. Put the penguin back the right way.
I mean,
What
I
if-
know you didn't notice it, but you thought that the penguin faced the opposite direction as the rest of the shit on the fucking table,
he wasn't even
away
thinking about
from
it.
the corner of the thing. Clearly, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking like Annie Wilkes, but I feel like it should always point due south. I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
So the movie's over.
right? So he finds her pill stash. She takes
Mm-hmm.
a bunch, and now she's on her way back, and he's stuck in the kitchen door
Well, he can't get through the kitchen door, so he drags himself
to the back door.
to the back door, which of course is also locked. And then he hears her pulling up. He's like, oh, fuck. So he drags himself back, gets in the chair, goes back, and he has to lock up the fucking door. And he's got these pills that are hanging out of his pants
I know.
when she comes out. And he's like,
He's so sweaty.
you know. She's like, you're dripping with perspiration. He's like, yes, you know what I've been.
I'm in pain.
Yeah, your color is very erratic.
What have you been up to?
Yeah,
need
like
some pills.
You know exactly what I've been up to. I've been sitting here waiting for my pills.
So he like begs for the pills.
She's like, well, I'll put you back in bed. He's like, no, I want them now.
She goes out and gets his pills, just enough time for him to shove the rest of them down his pants.
Yes. And then she gets him back in bed. He takes his pills, but he like cheeks them.
Yeah. And she hands him a pad and a pencil, like in case you have any ideas.
Right. Because, you're going to rest, but you want to write something. You should do it.
And as she leaves, she blows him a little kiss.
Oh, catch this.
And he spits his pills out as soon as she goes out, which to me was like, he's like spitting that kiss out. Also.
I know. Like, blah, 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 blah.
So now the chopper's out again, searching
Yep.
the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And now Buster catches sight
Oh, he
of the
sees the
Mustang.
car because now it's melted a
melting.
little bit. So they pull the car out, and this sheriff who is,
Or he's like the state trooper guy, maybe, who
something.
gives the
but
announcement.
he's been in a couple of. In
feel like
fact,
he's in a lot of
what was
things.
it in Needful Things? Was it Needful Things? He played Buster.
Did
Everybody
he?
called him Buster.
Was Stephen King's town sheriff named Buster?
I
or
don't
something?
know, but everybody called that guy Buster, and he hated it. He wasn't a sheriff in
It's
that
like, my
movie.
name
though.
is not Buster.
I'm not Buster.
But you bust the bad guy.
I
You're
know, but
Buster.
he wasn't a cop in that one. He was like
Oh.
just some guy,
He's named Buster.
and they kept the town called him Buster.
I just saw him as Colonel Markinson in Few Good Men
Few Good Men,
Oh.
yeah.
because I just saw that movie.
Oh, what is it? J.T. Walsh, I think is his name.
Maybe.
He's not credited in this too, but anyway, he gives a very uplifting message.
Oh, he gives this
About,
straight
like,
up,
we assume
we
he's
assume
dead,
and if he
But
wasn't,
we're not gonna find him until it thaws, and even if he's not dead, if the animals don't get him
right.
first.
If there's anything left for us to find, like this is your news conference.
I
You
know
said
this is your press release. Is
You
this
haven't
very?
even notified his family that his car
No.
has been found, and you're telling
We
the
found
news.
this, but he's probably dead.
that
I
an
mean,
animal
look
probably
around.
ate him. Jesus
He's not
Christ.
in there. So Buster and Virginia are looking at. She's like, "You don't think he's dead?" And he's like, "Well, no. Look, someone pried open." He's like, "If he is dead, it's not like they think it is.
Well, and
He's
like
not
this
out
state
there."
trooper made this announcement without even seeing that, without
I
even
know.
noticing that the door has been pried open.
Well, because they're not Buster.
Cop's gonna cop.
Cop's gonna cop. What can I say?
Speaking of Buster, he is an amalgam of
Right. He's several.
different law enforcement people in the book.
Yeah, there
Oh,
was
okay.
more than one, and
There
they
were a lot of them.
squished it all into one character.
So back at Annie's house, Paul makes himself a little paper powder packet for the
Right.
pills.
He makes himself a little bindle.
paper powder pill packet.
Pick a powder pill packets.
And then he realizes, oh no, he has to swallow all these empties because what the fuck
Right,
is he,
he
gonna do
swallows
with
all the
these?
gel caps. Like she's gonna
Could you
notice
imagine
that
the
in your
poop that
poop
night?
That's
She's
what
gonna
I'm
see
saying.
this.
She's gonna look at your
This
poop.
wad of red
She
gummy
is going
fucking
to
plastic.
tear and stamp your poops. She waits for them. She probably has them brinsed.
There's just a hole under the bed. She waits with Terrence
She
Stamp.
waits with her moon eyes.
She has a little cup.
She puts it on her shrine. When Buster comes
The
through, he's
Paul
like,
Sheldon
"Wow,
poops."
nice books. What is that?"
It's just a Paul Sheldon shit. It's fine. So he sits in front of the typewriter, and at first he just types fuck.
Right? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
And he pulls another one out. Okay,
Right.
let's start for real.
Right? And he's like, "Well," and like the look on his face is like, "Well, fuck, I know how to write a goddamn
yeah,
misery
so
novel."
whatever. We're just gonna do this. I'm gonna crank this out. And
But
she
she's
don't like it.
Nope, this isn't right. Because we couldn't have done all of these things with this experimental blood transfusion. Like I said, this shit sounds wild.
You don't cheat like that.
Right, you can't do that. When she's like, when I was younger, is this where she tells that whole speech? I went to see the chapter plays,
And then he
he's like,
corrects her, and she's
the
like,
cliffhangers. I know that.
called.
They were also called cereals, Mr. Man.
Not stupid.
I'm not stupid.
Yeah. So she's like talking about my favorite one was Rocket Man, and I would go every week and I would watch the things. And there was this one where they welded him into the trunk of the car, and the car was on the cliff, and the car went off the cliff. And you better believe the next time I was there first in line. And when they showed it, they showed what happened last week, and he jumps out of the fucking car. Well, I shouldn't say that. But he didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car.
And so if misery was buried in the ground at the end of your book, then that
You
is where you
start
have to
there.
start. There is no before she was
Right,
buried
like
in
this
the
is
ground.
beneath you.
So now more snow comes, more pages are written, and now she
Right.
likes these ones.
Right, this is good. This is going the right way. And she's like, "Oh shit, is this where she talks
A
about
bee sting
deadly
put her
bee
in a
sting?
coma.
I always knew she was nobility because then the doctor remembered that the other fucking
She's stoked
Oh
as
my god! Like I'm saying, this
And
shit
I'm sorry,
is wild.
this plot line she's saying that
I
she's
know.
stoked about is more ridiculous than whatever the gene therapy plot line.
Right,
like,
the experimental
what the fuck?
blood transfusion in the 1800s.
But like this rare bee allergy,
bee
and that
sting.
means she's nobility. 'cause
Sure.
only this fucking
Right.
Oh, that was wild.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I want to read this shit.
Oh, the house will be filled with romance.
I'm gonna put on my
Why is that
Liberace
romantic?
records.
I don't even understand.
Because she has to choose between Winthrop.
Oh yeah,
and
the two,
the
which will
other
she
guy.
choose? And she's gonna put on her Liberace records
Yes.
to inspire him.
You like Liberace? Who do you think was there in the first row at Radio City?
So he's like, "Will you have dinner with me tonight to celebrate?" And she's
Oh.
like,
Oh, Paul.
"It would be an honor."
Oh, Paul.
So Buster comes back to the station with all of Paul's books.
Right. Virginia's like,
Who are you having an
yeah,
affair
who you
with?
having an affair with?
She's a reader. He's like,
well,
I'm
she's
flattered you
talking-
think I have the energy. I am 10,100 years old.
I am 104,015 years old.
And he's like, no, like if I can't find out what happened to him, like I'm going to find out what he writes about. Like,
Right. Maybe
that'll
if I
help
can't
somehow.
find it, maybe that'll help. I don't know. Well, he talks to the guy in town. He was like, dude, if you put a bench outside of your store,
People are going to
People are
sit
gonna
on
wanna
it. I'm
sit
not
on
coming
it.
over there to chase them
I'm
away.
not going to tell
I don't
them
like
to
him
leave.
either, bud.
I'm
Right.
11 million years old.
I am 3 billion million gazillion years old.
I'm not hauling my fucking old ass over there to knock people off your bench. That's
I
for
could
sitting.
die.
Feet of snow.
Yes.
I will turn into dust at
will.
any moment.
So now it's time for the big romantic dinner. Annie lets Paul come down to the table, or not
Right.
down. He's on the same floor, but
Right,
whatever.
but
Come out
to the table and
She puts on her best Amish frock.
she's made meatloaf a la
with
Wilkes.
secret spam.
Secret spam for that
The
extra
secret is
zip.
little chunks of spam in it.
Ooh, I just chop it
delicious.
up. Chop it up.
And he pours some wine, and they're about to cheers, but he's like, "Well, wait,
Hold on.
Gotta have a
Let's do
candle.
this right.
gotta have a candle."
If somebody would have told me that I was having a candlelit dinner with Paul Sheldon,
And of course,
I had to look to see which one was
which
They were
leg they
pulling.
were pulling.
so she goes out for the candle, and he pours those however
The
many
pills
pills worth
into
of
her
powder
drink.
in her drink.
Right. So they cheered to misery.
And she immediately now did she know? Is that why
I
she
feel like
spills her
she
wine? I
did.
feel like she had to know.
I feel like she did.
or she knew there
knocks
was
all
a
the shit-
chance that he did something to her drink.
I mean, I don't know, but it seems like she would know.
And she's like, "Oh, well, just re-pour it." Like,
Right, like, oh fuck, I'm
It's
so
fine.
sorry. I ruined this beautiful moment. I ruined this toast. And he's like, his
now when he
face, he's
toasts
like,
to misery, it sounds
he's
like,
like,
it's not to the character.
"To
It's
misery."
to my misery. The misery of my fucking life. So Paul keeps cranking out the chapters.
right, Liberace's playing, he's typing, Annie reads, Buster is reading.
And Paul's lifting the typewriter to like
I
work
know,
out
he's
his
doing
shoulder.
like
He's
whatever.
getting
She's like,
buff.
this is like your best work yet.
And on a stormy night, Annie
Uh-oh.
gets the blues.
Right, when it rains, sometimes she gets the blue. Like he's all, you all
Uh-oh.
right?
He's like, "Oh, this is you in a bad mood."
right? She's down right now. She's seasonally depressed at this moment.
When she realizes that when he came there, she only loved the writer part of him.
But now I know I love the rest of you too.
And I know you don't love me. Don't
Don't
even
say it.
And
I
she's
got
like,
this gun.
right, just out of nowhere. This handgun I've never shown you before. I
have
just have.
this gun. Sometimes I think about loading it.
And she's like, "Well, book's almost finished. Your legs are getting better. You're
Right.
gonna want to leave soon." And he's like, "No, I like
Why
it
would I
here."
leave here? Why
Clearly.
would I leave here?
Why would you leave there?
I'm never gonna leave here.
But she's not buying it. And she's like, "Look, I better go before I put some bullets in this gun."
Right. So she takes off in the car.
In her house coat, in the rain, in the
Uh-huh.
car.
She just walks
in the
straight
night.
out. She's again.
Where'd
she's
she go? I don't
Seasonally
know.
depressed to
I
go
wanna
hang
know
out
where
with her
Annie
gun.
Wilkes goes.
Right. Where do Annie Wilkes go?
I don't know what song that's based off of.
I don't know.
We just made
I
it.
don't know how we did that at the same time with the same.
It's like Ojumanji.
I
Dad all
guess
over
so.
again.
It just happened that way. That's what the song sounds like. We just have to find it.
We don't know what
We
song
just gotta
it is.
pluck it out of the
but
air.
it's there somewhere.
It's there.
So Paul goes back for the knife.
Right. He goes to get the biggest knife. I feel like she would notice.
The biggest knife out of her knife block is missing.
Right. The knife block is on the counter. Mm-hmm. She's pretty meticulous about her things. Paul.
Well, she doesn't know. He doesn't know she knows about the penguin yet either.
Well, that's
so.
true, but look around.
But then now that makes me think because she's meticulous about her things, so she probably
She
knew
already
how many-
knew.
how many pill packets were up. In
Oh,
Right.
maybe
I
that
bet she
too.
already
She
knew
would
a
have
lot of
known
this,
how many.
yeah.
She would have counted her medication.
Well, and she knew he wasn't in love with her. So as delusional as she was,
I
about
know,
stuff,
she at
knew
least-
that this is all on her and that he's not feeling reciprocal feelings.
I
Like,
bet
she's-
she did when she was down, but when she's up, she doesn't
She
feel
doesn't
that
know.
way.
So Paul finds the news clippings in her memory book.
A trip down memory lane.
What a fucking scrapbook.
Ah, right?
All of the babies and adults that I
Uh-huh.
killed, I put in my little memory
Right,
scrapbook.
I put that the dragon lady.
Why did they call her the dragon?
I don't know. I
lady?
want to know that
I wasn't
too.
clear
That
on.
was strange. I liked just the random pictures of misery, the sow stuck over dead baby articles.
just to fucking just for some.
Right.
It's a girl.
It's a girl. It's my sow.
Well, and I think we talked about this off mic before, but so these articles were also all in Colorado, right?
Right. This was also
So
all
Annie
in the same
Wilkes,
place.
the nurse baby killer,
Right.
is a known entity in Colorado.
Yeah.
When Buster flies over her house
and says that's
the Wilkes farm.
place.
You don't know fucking Annie Wilkes, the notorious baby
Right?
killer.
Well,
Not just
maybe-
baby killer, murderer.
Murderer, yeah.
Who they never explain why she's not in jail. She went on
that
trial.
she went on trial, but they couldn't prove
We don't know
it,
why
maybe?
they couldn't prove
She
it.
got off on a technicality.
But like while you're looking for all of these things about Paul
Well,
Sheldon
because she
missing,
was a
nothing in
baby
your head
murderer.
was
She
like,
wasn't an adult
well,
man
No, there was
murderer.
adult. There was like a nursing
Well,
student and a
that's
doctor
true.
that she
Maybe
killed.
they didn't know about that. They just knew about the
Maybe.
babies.
They only knew about the babies.
Because she was only on trial for the babies. They didn't put her on trial. Those were just articles about those people dying.
True.
The nurse fell out a window.
Right. So I guess maybe
The
they didn't
doctor,
connect
something
it all.
happened to him. I didn't see what happened to
But
him.
you would think if she had been on trial for murder that Buster
Girl.
would have come up on his radar. Like,
I don't know.
This lady's weird.
Well, he did eventually connect her to the quote from the book when he was
yeah.
reading
Well,
the
once he
book.
started asking the right questions at
I
the
guess.
bookstore.
I guess.
So
he
he
forgot, Nicole.
He's a
he's
one infinity years
yeah,
old.
He is infinite.
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 Infinite. So Paul goes back to bed and practices his knife out
Yeah.
of his sling.
I feel like a smaller yard
Right?
shanking would be better. I feel like that would be quicker, easier, and easier to manage.
Right? Then like the
Like
biggest
catch
butcher
her off
knife.
guard when she leans over, you're like bop 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 bop.
But she comes home late and she don't even come to check on
Nope,
his ass.
she stands
so,
outside the door, but she don't come in.
so he puts the knife under the mattress and falls asleep.
Yep.
And wakes up to her standing over
Oh,
him,
it's a stormy night.
immediately injecting him with something.
Oh
Like,
no!
What the fuck? Oh shit!
Then
So
when he
then he
comes
wakes up.
to, and she's tying him down to the bed. I know you've been getting out, Paul.
The penguin, Paul.
The penguin
I
always
saw the
faces
penguin.
due south.
Oh, also, I have your knife. And also, I have your key.
I found your key. I was trying to think of how you were getting out of here, but then I reached under your ball bag and I found your key.
Because, yeah, where else was it? Everything was in his pants.
Was he keister and everything?
Oh, shit. Did she dig at his butthole for that?
She digged out a duty bubble.
Whitney.
He made a
Bobby.
bindle and
Oh, or is it like Tank Girl?
oh, he's got a butt locker.
He got a butt locker.
She would have found that long ago.
He keeping all the
She
stuff
was
in the butt
checking all
locker.
his crevasses.
She was drugging his ass and then going in at night and just rolling him. That's how he had no bed sores. He wasn't
I
sleeping on
know.
his back.
No.
She was making sure he was rolling over.
Oh, she was rolling him around. His legs were all sore all the time. She was getting, oh my God.
Sorry, you guys can't see, but I was doing some hand motions to go along with
What
that.
she was doing in the night.
She's like, you just need more time. Guess what? You know how they used to punish minors
by
who tried
the
to run
way,
away? Casual.
At the early days of the Kimberly mines, they would, do a process. Don't worry, they didn't kill
They
him.
didn't kill him.
That would
It
be
was
like
called
crashing a
hobbling.
Mercedes. They
Yeah.
still had to work, but they had to make sure they couldn't run away. It was called hobbling.
And as soon as she puts that wood block between his
he's like, wait,
fucking ankles, I was like,
what are you doing? What's that sledgehammer
it's
for,
coming.
Annie? And
She's
in the
so
book,
calm.
she cuts off his foot and cauterizes it, and they thought that was
yes.
too gruesome.
I mean, I guess that's more gruesome, but like,
I don't know.
that's more permanent.
I wince
Oh yeah.
every
Let me
like
tell you, because I saw this movie in the theater.
oh
when it
with
first
the
came out.
oh like 10 feet tall.
Yes.
Oh no!
And
The whole
the
audience?
collective
Ah!
in the theater was
Oh,
That
they
foot
made
just
yeah.
they
right
made little
ankles?
like
See that,
genital
you see
bleh,
it, and-
not genital
oh,
gelatin legs
yes.
and wires so that it would bend.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
she took a whack at it, and that's what they
She
did. And
took
he
a
she
whack
took a whack
at
at
it.
it. He had his little body down underneath the bed.
oh,
And
and,
they
at
had
least
little
they
gen-
only show the one.
Just one
but
is
you hear
enough.
both.
Oh, I know, but the one is enough. One is
And
enough.
she's like, God, I
God,
love
I
you.
love you.
Kudos to Jimmy Caan with that acting of
Oh, when he's
Oh, the pain?
like.
oh,
Yeah.
he
I
was
would have
really
barfed.
like he was
I would have
for reals.
barfed on my own fucking face. I would have like. "Ah!"
Oh
Having
yeah, if
seen that-
somebody really did that to you, oh, I would have just passed out from
I
shock or
can't
vomited.
with the broken
There's
bones. I can't with broken bones. I can't. Ooh, no,
I don't
I
like
cannot.
that.
No, I don't
Something
like that at
poking
all.
out.
No,
Even
no.
if it's fake, even fake in a movie, if a bone's poking out, I can't look. I don't want to see it.
can't with that. I can't.
I can
do
feel it in my soul
Yes,
when there's bone things.
like in the very pit of my soul.
yeah,
It's like pain.
yeah,
and I can't.
it's a chill. It's
Ooh,
a like.
it's
Yeah, I don't
terrible.
like the bone
I don't.
stuff.
Oh, I don't like the bone stuff.
But she loves him.
Oh God,
That's why.
I love
That's
you.
why she got to break his ankles.
So now that he's sitting there in his wheelchair again, with
Well,
his
she
feet
goes
up,
back
all
to
whatever.
town.
Well, yeah, she goes back out again, and now,
She makes a little spectacle of herself where Buster can hear.
right, you fucking
Cock-a-doodie,
cock-a-doodie, and he's looking at her like,
whatever.
oh, is that wackadoodle Annie Wilkes? She goes into the store and comes back out again.
And then he's like, wait a second.
hold on.
I have a memory.
I
I'm going to go
just-
look up the newspaper clippings.
Right,
from the
I'm going
last-
to go to the library
Oh, that's
and
right.
look up. I'm surprised he
She's
didn't
a
go to the
murderer.
microfiche.
I know. It was
I'm a
too
little
early No,
disappointed.
we had microfiche in
I'm
1990.
a little disappointed he didn't do the microfiche, but he got out the big books.
Because I don't remember big books of newspaper clippings.
I
It was
do.
on microfiche. I don't remember.
Yeah,
the
no,
big
they had the
books.
big
newspapers.
old
Yeah, I
newspaper
don't really
books.
remember
Yeah,
that.
but microfiche was more fun
It was.
because it did the yeah. Oh yeah, turn that thing.
So now Annie comes home.
Right.
And she yells to him from the window, "Hi, pumpkin," and he just fucking
He's like,
flips her off.
"Oh, you're such a kidder."
In that big old sack of
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
feeding misery.
And Buster's at the bookstore asking about Annie and like, oh yeah, she gets all the fucking
Right,
Paul
he was
Sheldon
like,
books.
She's
the first one down here.
Paul Sheldon books. He's like, well, I did, but they're gone. He was like, does Annie Wilkes like that? He's like, oh shit, are you kidding?
She got the first
The
dibs
very
on every
first
book.
copy, and he's like, is she buying anything weird?
Well, not unless you consider typing paper weird.
He's like, oh, that's interesting. And when did she start doing that? And he was like, oh, a couple weeks ago or something like that. She done something? No, not at all, except for all that baby killing.
Right? No.
Don't you remember?
So Buster heads out to Annie's house and Paul sees him coming and he gets all excited, but she sees his ass coming too, and she like
drugs
immediately
him and
drugs
puts him
him.
in the fucking cellar.
And she's strong as hell.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They were
Taking
gonna
a
have Julia
full-grown-
Roberts do this shit.
Right? Taking a full grown James Caan with them
Taking a full-grown James
with
Caan.
dead legs. Well, at that point he only has dead ankles.
with all that swelling weight.
right? And she puts him down in the basement.
Yes.
So Buster knocks on the door and is like asking Annie, you know about Paul Sheldon? And no, this isn't suspicious that you recited his entire life
Right?
biography.
She's
to
like,
this
oh, I'm
fucking
his
sheriff.
number one fan. And
Why would you even? Why wouldn't you just go like,
Well,
oh,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I like his books. I know
Well,
who
she
that is. I
probably
heard about the
knows she
tragedy.
couldn't like deny it. Well, I guess so. That she could just say,
Like,
of
yeah,
course I
pretend
do.
like, yeah, you know who he is, but you don't know every fucking minutia, like
well, once he
everything
comes
about
into
Paul
the house
Sheldon.
and sees the shrine, he's gonna know better.
Yeah. So she invites him in,
Right.
and she tells him that God told her to get ready to be Paul's replacement.
Yes. So, because when he died, I died, or I almost died, or whatever, and God told me, you're gonna laugh at me, but God told me that I was gonna be his replacement, and I got all this stuff just like he likes it.
Right. So that's her excuse for the typewriter and all this
Right.
stuff. And now, why is she letting this cop wander all around her house looking in all her
Because
rooms?
that door that she put him in is like a secret door. It's like a little pocket
well, but like,
door.
just ACAB. He
I
don't have no
know.
business fucking looking in all the rooms in your house.
Of
Annie
course
Wilkes.
he
like
doesn't,
I know you're the
but
bad
this
guy.
is out here at the Wilkes farm,
was
and
the
it's a
90s.
small town,
Yeah.
and it's whatever. She's trying not to be suspicious.
And at this point, other
Don't
than
be
being
suspicious.
obsessed with him, there's no evidence other than like, oh, she's clearly an obsessed fan.
Right?
but,
She's like, let me get you some cocoa.
And he's like, oh,
They
okay,
do that
sure.
little
That was weird. We're
Marx
like both
Brothers,
looking at each other. In the
that little
hallway,
Harpo
like-
Marx thing, and that they were doing like they were miming each other.
So he goes and checks upstairs while she makes some cocoa, and Paul's like and now how is Paul sort of awake? What did
I
she
don't
give
know.
him?
She didn't like give him enough. Like he's all trying to choke her out before he passes out.
Right. So Buster declines the cocoa and he's ready to leave. He's like,
Right.
"No,
He's
I'm
like,
good."
all right, no, never mind. He's like, you know what? Maybe I'll come out here again.
Yeah,
some
I'll come
other
visit
time
you
or
some other
whatever.
time.
She's like, yeah, cool. Come on out anytime.
And he's outside
Mm-hmm.
But fucking Paul knocks over that barbecue.
That same barbecue. I'm in here. So Buster first, he goes in thinking like Annie, like,
Right,
Ms.
are you
Wilkes,
okay?
Are you
Yeah.
okay? And she's nowhere to be found. So he's now hearing Paul down there yelling, and he finds a little pocket door and goes down there and sees him, and
Annie
boom!
blows his ass away.
Blows his fucking chest out.
with another gun that we hadn't seen previously,
A shotgun.
And she tells Paul, their time in this world
I
must
know
end.
now that we have to die because more will come.
And I'm prepared. I've got it.
Right,
I've got a handgun and a lethal injection
Put
ready.
2 bullets in this gun. Well, first I'm going to knock you out, and then I'm going to shoot you and
Right.
shoot myself. And he's like, no, wait. First,
I love you too.
I love you too.
And we got to finish Misery.
You're right. And I know we have to die, but first we have to finish the book. We have to give Misery back to the world.
So he grabs some lighter fluid and shoves that down his pants too.
Right.
He's
got a
loves
lot of
shoving
room
shit
down
down his
there.
pants, man. I mean, I guess what else he gonna do?
He's
Where
got
else
a
he gonna
crotch
hide it?
locker.
Well, and are you telling me you don't think she checks down your fucking pants? She's changing your fucking. She's wiping your
I know.
ass.
Well, in this moment, I guess he knew which way she was going to pick him up.
guess.
Well, no,
Yeah.
she doesn't. She just wheels his
she makes
wheelchair
him
over there.
crawl
Uh-huh.
up the fucking stairs.
Yeah.
You don't see
so
it.
it
but
doesn't
she
fucking
just
matter
leaves the
where he puts it in
wheelchair.
his pants. She's like, I'm going to make you something to eat.
That's cold as hell. She
Cold-blooded.
just climb your ass up,
Right? Crawl.
Hobble your way up.
I know. Hobble.
dude. So back to him typing frantically.
Mm-hmm.
And why are you slow down? Why are you typing frantically?
Right?
Relax. You're about to
I
die.
know. Like, you guys, this is all coming to an end pretty quickly here.
But when he finishes, it's got to be perfect. So he needs 3 things.
Oh.
And
what
she's like,
3
what?
things?
And he's, you know
You
what
know
it
what
is.
3 things. She's like, I know.
Oh, we should get our.
Oh yeah, let's
We
get
need to
that.
get- we need
let's
to get
that
our-
ready
our
while
bottle
you're talking
out.
about. You talk about what 3 things?
So he needs his single lucky strike because he used to smoke and he doesn't anymore, only when he finishes the book. His single match to light his lucky strike, and his bottle of Dom Perignon, the one in the door. Dom Perignon. And she's like, and now I forgot until this part that the whole fucking time this typewriter doesn't have an N. So until they show like the what he's typing and that every time he types an N, there's just no
nothing.
letter
Well,
there.
doesn't she say?
Fun fact about that.
Oh, what's that?
Stephen King actually did have a typewriter that did not have an N, so that's why.
Wasn't there something else where there was also not like a T and something else, and it was like things that you would use more often? I don't. It was something like that, but yeah, it didn't.
How
have an
annoying
N
to have read an entire novel
without an
without
N.
the N, just having
I mean,
to replace it in your
I
brain
guess
every
you could
time.
just. Well, maybe
I was
you
looking
would
for
and
your
figure it
pen
out.
gift. They
Uh-huh.
had all kinds of stuff where it was like coffee mugs and stuff where it said "I'm your number 1 fan," but it was missing the
The
N.
N.
number one
Oh,
fa.
that's funny.
I'm your
I'm
number
your
one
number
fa.
1 fa.
Perfect.
That's cute.
So she
And he
goes
was
for
like,
the-
"Did I do good?" And he's
Right.
like, "Only one thing. We're gonna need."
Yeah, because she gets the
2
3 things,
glasses.
and the only thing she missed is they need 2 glasses, and she's like,
Oh
"Oh,
my! Oh, Paul.
oh!" She gets to share in the Dom Perignon.
Right. And so he's now, when she goes to get the 2 glasses or her own glass, he covers
He douses his whole
misery
misery
book
in
lighter fluid, because now this is like the very, very end. It's the last chapter. He's almost done.
and she's never gonna know. So she comes back in, and he's got it like crumpled in his hand.
Right.
Like,
He's
I've
like,
got
the thing about her dad, and if they'd ever be reunited, it's all in here.
The thing
Who
about
she
which man she
chooses, it's all here. And she's like, "No, you can't do it."
So he clubs.
He's like, "Why not?
Yeah.
I learned it from you."
Right.
So he lights the match, and fucking, she.
He lights it on fire, and as
Right,
she's trying
she's,
to
like,
put it out,
trying
he
to put it
clubs her
out.
with the typewriter.
Oh, bing!
And she shoots him. in the
Yeah,
well,
she
in the
comes out
shoulder.
like she runs out and she shoots him, and now he tackles her. Like
they get in like this fucking
right,
knockdown,
they're like
drag
fucking
out.
fighting, and she shoots the second bullet. 'Cause there's only 2 bullets in this gun.
Yeah.
And now they're down on the floor, they're fighting or whatever, and then she gets up to run, and he takes that beefy leg and just like trips her with it, and then she hits the thing, ding!
Well, before that, and he's shoving the fucking
Oh,
burnt pieces
you
of-
want it? You
eat it
fucking
till you
eat
choke,
it,
you
eat it.
sick, twisted fuck. Like, that's such a Stephen King line.
I
swear.
know. Shoving it in her mouth.
And, they,
And
yeah,
she
and then
calls
he
him a
trips her.
cocksucker. She
Yeah.
finally just
And he trips her, and she hits her head on the typewriter, and you think she's fucking down for the count, but
no, she's not.
He pulls himself up, and she's like on his back.
Right, and they're fighting some more, and then finally he picks up that door stopper.
I don't know
big
what
old
that was, like an iron
heavy
horse.
metal
They're
door
actually-
pig stopper. Pig
Door
stopper.
stops.
They were to hold the door.
Right, for the door, and just like bink, clobbers her with it, and now she
She's
died.
dead.
Now she died.
Wait, pop champagne.
Oh,
She dead.
ooh, she did.
Annie Wilkes is dead. And 18 months later, walking with a cane in New York City.
Right, he meets with Marcia about his book, The Higher Education of J. Philip Stone.
And it's doing well, and he don't even care.
He's being taken seriously.
He
He's
wrote
like,
it
you
for
know what?
himself.
It's not for anybody. It's for me. And she's like, you know what? I'd
know
be
what
laughed
everyone-
out of the biz, but do you want to write some nonfiction about
Annie Wilkes.
what happened in that house? He's like, oh, that sounds like you want to exploit the worst moment of my life for a couple bucks.
And as the dessert cart lady approaches, she
Oh.
looks just like
He's like,
Annie
you know,
Wilkes.
it's kind of funny. I think about her a lot and how it kind of made me do all of these things. And even though I know that she's dead, I still think about her sometimes. And,
And
the
then
cake
the lady looks at
waitress.
herself, and she's like, I'm your number one fan.
She goes, are you Paul Sheldon? Yeah, I'm your number one fan.
Oh.
I'll be seeing you in all the old places. Wasn't that played in something else? I feel like that came up in a different Stephen King
Maybe.
situation.
I'm sure you get a lot of,
A lot of the
his
same
childhood
things in,
references or whatever.
in Stephen King things are all tied up together. It's all
Yeah.
tied up together.
So how did Misery doom us? It doomed me to, first of all, just never watch the scene in Misery
Right,
where
the
she
ankle
hobbles
thing.
him.
The hobbling scene.
Like, I
is right
cannot
up
look
there.
at this fucking scene.
His gross legs.
And to always be a little bit scared of Kathy Bates,
Right?
no matter how sweet she seems in real life.
Right? She seems real cool,
I'm
but
scared.
behind them eyes,
I
I'm
wouldn't fuck
scared.
with Kathy
No, I
Bates.
sure as shit wouldn't. Sure as shit wouldn't.
And this was another, like, I probably saw this right after it came out, which means I was like 11.
Yeah.
I
this was
watched
like-
Misery 11 or
It's
12.
one of those things your folks let you watch because it's not like a horror movie.
And when I was a kid, I read this and Dolores Claiborne, and
oh,
I used to confuse
that was
Dolores Claiborne with the character. Or I
not-
envisioned Dolores
right.
Claiborne as
her.
Annie Wilkes, as the Kathy
Well, that
Bates.
was not necessarily like written about her, but
No.
when they did the movie, she was the only one. Like it was made for her
Yeah.
to be Dolores, and she was so good in that. That movie's
yeah.
good.
I remember the
It's
book
sad,
more
but
than
it's
the
good.
movie, but I
Yeah.
think I feel like I read the book a couple times.
Yeah.
That was
And
a-
then also he put her on because of this or whatever, the In the Stand miniseries. The Ray Flowers became a woman because he wanted her to
you
do
wanted
it.
her to do it. Has anybody watched the new Matlock with her?
No,
Is
is it good? Do you? I've
Isn't
been
it-
meaning to check it
And
out.
so, but it is from the universe where the show Matlock exists, right?
Yes.
She
Which is
mentions
weird.
right off the bat something
Yes.
about not
No,
that Matlock.
Yeah, not that Matlock.
And is it
Oh.
not have?
What?
It has John Ritter's kid in it, right?
Yes.
Jason Ritter.
Oh.
I
See,
love
I've been
him.
meaning to check it out. So you love it. I keep hearing good things
Bo
about
Bridges. I haven't seen Bo Bridges in a minute.
Really? Not since he was a unicorn.
Because like you watch the whole episode, and I'm not gonna do no spoilers, but you watch the whole episode, and then at the end you're like, the end of the first episode, you're like,
Oh, I'm
all
excited.
right,
I'm gonna have to check it out.
I love Kathy Bates.
Jinx. I know, same.
If you didn't watch her American Horror Story arc, definitely check that out.
I did.
You know
like
what I
her
saw
in
right
that.
after this? I turned off the. So this is, by the way, available on the Internet Movie Archive
Oh yeah, that's right.
because it's not available anywhere
No,
streaming.
it
So
was
if you want to
only
watch it,
available
it's
to
free on
buy.
the Internet Archive.
It's not available to rent, but it is on the archive.
But when I shut this off and turned on Pluto, The Godfather was on, which I have never watched from
Oh,
beginning
wow.
to end. And it
Wow.
was pretty close to the beginning, so I started watching it, and I did not know that James Caan was
Oh, yeah.
Sonny Corleone. I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Right after I just
That's
watched
weird.
fucking James Caan, and there he is with his little afro. And fucking-
Little Jimmy Cat.
Yes! And he looks so much the same, but so different.
I know.
because he was so young in that.
Because he was had to be
right.
a baby
He was
in that.
45.
So
Well,
in
supposed
Godfather,
to
he
be
was what, in his
45.
early 20s or
Paul
something
Sheldon
probably?
was 45. I don't know
Okay.
if James Caan was.
But I got
45
to
at the
see at
time.
least the big hits. I got to see the daughter of my wedding,
Right.
whatever, my daughter's
Come
wedding.
to me, Dad,
Come to me
on
now.
the day of my
I
daughter's
got to see
wedding.
the horse head in the bed.
Oh,
I
of
fell
course.
asleep before the end, but I got to see the horse head in the
Somebody
bed.
took the bottom half of my horse that I keep in my bed.
There's a meme that just went around this week that was something
That was
like,
funny.
can you imagine
was
waking
funny.
up and the bottom half of your horse you keep in your bed is missing?
Oh no!
No. But no, it was good. The parts that I was awake for
Right.
were amazing, but it was just so funny that would be because it was not
Right.
even on the same platform.
No,
it was like
it was
fully
just-
on a different thing, and I shut off the thing, and there's James
There's
Caan again,
Jimmy
and I was like, oh my
Caan.
god, there he is again.
There he is again.
There he is. He's all over the place.
He's everywhere.
So yeah, get at us.
Get at us.
All the things, and like and rate and review and
Right.
subscribe. We're only 4 Spotify followers away from 500.
Oh,
Follow
my
us on Spotify, you
God.
guys.
4, you say?
We're at 496 on Spotify.
Let's get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
And we now have, at the encouragement of listener Zach, we now have a Ko-fi or Ko-fi.
What
I
is
don't know what
that?
it is, but he wanted us to give him a way to send us money.
Oh,
So I did,
Well,
and he
great.
sent us money. Thank you, Zach. Thanks for the money. And if you guys, if we ever make you laugh so hard you feel like you owe us $1, well, there's a
will
Ko-fi
you buy that
link.
for $1?
There's a Ko-fi link in our link tree
Oh.
on Instagram. If you go to our bio on Instagram or our bio
Oh.
on Twitter or whatever, we have
finding
a
this
link
out.
tree. I just did it last night, and he sent us money like immediately, and I was like, "Woo, sweet!"
Hey!
And we might use your money responsibly to buy things like equipment for the podcast, or we might buy toys because sometimes we do that. So
Well,
just be
sometimes we
aware.
do. Well, now we don't really have a place to put toys, so
No,
you might just
sometimes
be
we
buying
just buy
food.
pizza or alcohol while we're recording.
You might
so-
just be buying a little food, a little maybe buy some gas. I don't know.
Yeah, now we
Now
have to
we're-
drive. I don't
we're
know if we've
mobile.
mentioned it, but we got to take turns driving 90 minutes.
Yep.
Worked for me. For some reason, it's fucking 2 hours
Right,
every
2
time
hours
I try to come out
today.
here. So yeah, gas money is always appreciated.
Right. So yeah, if you want to do that, to keep
So
us
it's whatever Ko-fi or
traveling.
Ko-fi, and it's Doom Gen Pod. So you
There
can
you
hit us
go.
up there. We got Patreon, patreon.com/Doom Generation. We got stuff to sell. We got stickers.
We
and
got stuff to sell.
Hit us up.
Oh yeah, and on that Patreon, we're trying to get some more stuff together.
Yeah, so you guys, if you are holding out on joining our Patreon because you're like, nah, I don't really like what they have to offer, what could we offer that you guys
Right,
want to
and
join
also
our
that,
Patreon?
What else
Let
do
us
you want?
know.
What
Give
else
us-
do you want?
give us
Within
some
reason.
feedback. 702, yeah, no feet pics, you guys. That's extra. 702-720.
Well, how much will you
Doom.
be willing
How
to
much
pay?
will you pay for feet pics? Just let us know.
I mean, like I said, we accept a lot of gas money. It's expensive.
It is expensive. 702-720-DOOM. Doom Generation Podcast at gmail.com. Instagram, Doom Generation Pod. Twitter, Doom Gen Pod. We're on all the places. We're on Blue
Everywhere.
Sky. We're on fucking everywhere. So find us, Threads, whatever. We're out here.
We out, ya.
And until next week.
We'll talk at you next time. Later, Doomers.
Generation.